All right, guys, this is an emergency update for Bitcoin. As you can see, we are dropping, we're dropping. Now, Bitcoin is falling faster so far than altcoins, which is very interesting. Solana is still holding up quite well while Bitcoin is falling. Let's take a look at Ethereum. And Ethereum is holding up potentially better than although Ethereum's starting to fall as well. Maybe they're just lagging slightly behind. But I wanted to come on here live to look at crypto. Got some chaos going on here. And if we take a look at just the altcoins, it's very interesting that the altcoins are still, compared to this level, they're still holding at a higher low so far. Altcoins are still, dare I say, potentially in a bullish setup as long as they don't break this level here. So we're going to keep an eye on that today. They certainly could break that level as Bitcoin is falling. But it's very interesting. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin keeps falling here. We've broken this support level. So my theory that we could bounce off of these levels, unless we get a bounce very, very soon, that would disqualify that theory. You know, however, unless we do something like this, like maybe we do go down further, unless we go right back up like that and we start heading up like that. That is actually certainly possible as well. But we're also going to take a look at the astrology today. And we're going to have a deep analysis. I'm going to over-deliver to you guys as I'm keeping my eye on the charts today. I mean, we keep breaking. We just keep going lower and lower and lower. We keep breaking these 50% levels. I'm looking at the minute-by-minute chart right now. And we just keep heading lower, lower, lower. I'm checking to see if on any of these swings, take the swing top to the bottom here, and this is the 50% level. When are we going to go up above this 50% level and start to see more bullish action like that? So far, we have not seen that. This is live, so as long as if we get rejected off that level again, we're just going to keep heading down, is what we keep seeing. You know, we just saw it right here. We got rejected. Went down here. We bounced off. We got rejected again. Let's see how much longer this is going to take until we start heading back up. All right, so I definitely took some of my stop losses were hit, and I actually manually sold some altcoins. I just need to de-risk personally. However, I'm going to be keeping my eyes glued to the screen for the rest of the day, because if we do start heading up really fast, I'll possibly buy back in, because that would be a scenario that that could potentially be what I mentioned a little bit earlier, was could this just be a big wick down and then we just head back up? As you know, Bitcoin is famous for that. I've had that happen before. So it's really, really, really tricky. So there's the strategy for the long-term hodlers where you just hodl through this. In that case, no big deal. Keep on hodling on. But in the case for more advanced traders, you know, traders can trade through this chaotic price action. But you know, if as a okay, we're passing this 50% level, so we're starting to see some strength. We're starting to see early signs of strength after Bitcoin bounced off of 57. Very interesting. I actually have a friend of a friend who predicted that we're going to bounce off of 57. I don't know where he got that number, but he could be right. That would be very interesting. So far, we've bounced off the 57, and we're going to see if we can hold that, or if we're going to keep heading down like that. And we keep heading up. So for the hodlers, you know, if you're willing to just hold for up to 6 months to a year, then this shouldn't cause any worry. Y'all should be totally fine, as I don't think this is a big deal in the long run. This is very normal, very, very normal behavior for Bitcoin historically. This would only mean that from this point, we've dropped 22%, which is a very, very normal, healthy correction for Bitcoin. Just going to take a look at the altcoins here. Wow, the altcoins are still holding up quite strong. Solana is at 121. Still, Solana is holding that level at 120 quite well. That's very interesting, because Bitcoin dropped quite a bit, while altcoins such as Solana did not fall as much in the same time span. All right, very interesting. So I am potentially doing some trades here, so I might be a little bit MIA, but I wanted to jump on just to say what's up to you guys, to know that I am here, and I want to stay available during these times. Very interesting that Solana is doing that. And then Ethereum's holding up. And then if we look at the total altcoins here, those are still holding up. Then we take a look at Bitcoin. And Bitcoin fell off of that major support level there. So are we seeing more weakness for Bitcoin here compared to alts? And if that's the case, if Bitcoin heads back up, that could be good for altcoins. If altcoins continue to hold strength here, as so far, altcoins are continuing to look very strong. Let's look at the total crypto market cap. Some weakness there. We've dropped through these levels. But this isn't anything that hasn't happened before. I mean, if we look back here, we draw a basic line there. We did, drop through levels, those levels of support before we headed back up. So it is possible that it could just drop there before heading back up. But that's not guaranteed. So we got to remain on our toes here. We can't act like we know what's going to happen. Got to be prepared for both scenarios if we continue going down and if we continue heading up. Tricky scenarios here. It's definitely easier mentally and emotionally to just hodl. That's for sure. But if you're a more active advanced trader, make sure you know what you're doing. Then you can take a closer look. We're starting to see a little bit of strength from Bitcoin here. So that's interesting. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. Take a moment to type your guys' thoughts in the chat. All right, Bitcoin's heading up now, showing some strength. Now, really interesting, we got some news. I mean, all of this price action could be caused from this news. Apparently, the Binance CEO, Changpeng Zhao, was arrested. Or no, maybe not arrested. He was sentenced to 4 months in prison. Now, we'll see if this is legit. Or if, I mean, it looks pretty legit. But perhaps there's a chance everyone will just forget about this in the next few days. We will see. But definitely looks like there's people the markets are being spooked, especially for Bitcoin. And that's actually one thing I predicted. When I looked at the Ethereum astrology, I was seeing potential strength for Ethereum versus Bitcoin. And so far, let's take a look at the Ethereum versus Bitcoin. Let's go to the daily. We are seeing Ethereum bounce off that low there and has headed up considerably, and is now correcting. We'll see if Ethereum can continue to stair step upwards like that versus Bitcoin. Then that would show Ethereum would be showing a lot of strength versus Bitcoin. But so far, with Bitcoin falling off, definitely looking weak there. We haven't seen this kind of weakness in Bitcoin for a long time. Okay, let's see what comments we have. We know the power of May 1st. We could see it shoot up in 24 hours. It's May Day. Retro shadow till the 13th. Yes. So I did mention that. We don't come out of Mercury retrograde shadow until May 13th. So I did mention in one of my videos, maybe I should have mentioned it more, that we might not be out of the woods until May 13th. Trying to think about that. That's possible. It's possible. I don't know. We'll see how long this lasts here before we can start stair-stepping upwards. I mean, we just broken these levels of support here around, you know, that level. We don't know how far we're going to fall here, but next levels of support are around, I mean, it could be around this level, 52,000. We could drop to 50,400. And then if we zoom out, if we do like a 50% level to the very bottom, that's 42. I wonder if we could get down to 42. But let's take the 50% from the current peak. That would be 44. But if we move that up to the low from the banking crisis with Silicon Valley Bank crisis, that would bring us up to 46. If we bring it up to the lows from 2000 from last year, you know, in June 2023, brings us up to 49,000. So I'm thinking if we headed down much further, we should get quite a bit of resistance around 52,000, 50,000, and then the lowest I would say would be 49,000, maybe 48. We'd probably have to get some black swan event, potentially. But who knows? Bitcoin always loves to surprise and shock. Shock and awe, that's what Bitcoin does. So we got to be prepared for that. What are you guys thinking with your strategies? So like I was saying, buy and hold would be the easiest strategy for these kind of days, but you got to be able to hold for, I'd say, at least 6 months to be safe. All right, guys, I'm going to have some pauses here because I am trying to do a couple trades here. And looks like I'm getting some technical glitches with Coinbase. So markets are on edge right now. And these exchanges could be getting overwhelmed. It looks like that might be the case for... Oh, sorry. Actually, no. Coinbase works right now. I think I just made a mistake. Just a little bitty mistake. Okay. So I'm just making sure I have enough cash if we're going to continue heading down. I'm honestly just following my intuition right now, and it's only good to do that if you're an experienced investor or an experienced trader with, you know, at least a few years of experience. 5, 6 years of experience, 10 years of experience. Then you can start to trust your intuition a little bit. Because I have had experiences with, I've had many experiences with Bitcoin falling off a cliff. And I've learned the lessons, at least for myself. I can't tell you guys what to do, but I can tell typically what's good for me. But like I said, long-term strategy buy and hold is great if that works for you. But if you cannot stand seeing your crypto bags go down, you know, potentially for a few months over the summer, I'm not saying that's guaranteed to happen, but if you're not able to stomach that, if you're not able to handle that financially, if you have bills coming in that you're not going to be able to sustain, if you don't have a job, if you don't have enough cash flow, then, you know, you might want to make sure you have enough to make it through at least a few months. But like I said, if you have income coming in, you have cash flow already from other sources than crypto, then all good. No need to worry. One thing I do sometimes is I just sell like 25% of altcoins. Maybe just 25% of a few of my altcoins. Just to make sure I have some cash on hand, just to make sure that, you know, because typically altcoins fall a lot harder than Bitcoin. Now, that's not necessarily the case right now, which is very, very interesting. Bitcoin has fallen 5% in the last 24 hours. You know, typically altcoins might fall twice. I mean, look at Solana. Solana has fallen less than 5%. This is wild. This is actually showing a lot of strength for altcoins right now. Very interesting. It's actually looking quite bullish for altcoins so far. Wow, let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum's falling less than 5%. And the altcoins, total 3, which is the altcoins minus Bitcoin and Ethereum, altcoins have only fallen 3%. Whereas the total crypto market cap has fallen 4%. We don't see this very often. Altcoins are holding up stronger, than the total market cap. Wow. If we rebound from this today or in the next couple days, could we be heading into an altcoin run? That's what I've been talking about on my last 5, 6 videos. That possibility. Now we first need to get out of the woods here. And I don't know how long we're going to hang out down here. But who knows? I'm looking at the minute by minute chart right now. So far, it's starting to hover around this 50% level, starting to show a glimmer of hope. But we would need to start heading up from here, like that, something like that. Or, you know, like I said, we could get rejected again and head back down further. We just got to keep our eye on what is unfolding here, not try to get ahead of ourselves. Just be present in this process. The power of presence. Has anyone ever read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle? That book changed my life. Helps me realize that the present moment is really all there is to focus on. And anything else in the past or in the future is really an illusion, because it's just thoughts in the head. It's not related to necessarily anything that's happening right now. It's just kind of a ripple from the past or a prediction for the future. And as you know, predictions usually are not 100% accurate. Now, it's very it's very interesting that I do predictions on this channel, and that's it's really for fun, to see how well the astrology can predict the future and how well we can see patterns with the astrology. Some people think that's totally crazy, but, you know, I have been quite accurate so far. It does depend on who the astrologer is. Is that astrologer someone who resonates with you? Because not every astrologer is the same. Everything that we look at in the astrology is filtered through the very specific person who's reading it, and their beliefs, and their potential agendas, maybe some of their dogma that they want to push, their level of attachment to being right, things of that nature. I try to be very loose, very, very loose with my attachment to being right. Okay. And I think so far that's actually helped me become fairly accurate. But I'm not attached to that. And, you know, I was thinking that we were going to hold around these levels. And so, you know, I admit that so far that's not playing out. But like I said, if we do just simply bounce back up, we could, that still could be the case. There still is, I would say in the next couple days, there's still a possibility that this is a bullish formation and we can head back up. However, if for a few days we're still down here and we're just, you know, a week down here, that's not looking good. With that being said, it's difficult. We'll have to go back to the drawing book, if that's the case, to figure out how long we might be hanging out down here. We'll have to analyze that. But for the time being, I'm just going to stay present and observe the price action, see what we have going here. All right, it's looking weak. Bitcoin is still looking weak. Let's take a look at the altcoins. How are the altcoins holding up? Wow. Okay, Solana's it's still around 120. Solana's still holding up pretty strong compared to Bitcoin. Ethereum's, it's dropping off a bit. So Ethereum has dropped 5%. Bitcoin has dropped more than 5%. Solana has dropped, okay, Solana is starting to drop a bit more, 5.12% around there. And then we look at the altcoins. You know, I don't know. I have no idea why that keeps popping up. I mean, this is still, the altcoins are still holding up higher than they were on April 13th when we got that dump. With fears of the Middle East events that were, conflicts that were happening. We're still holding up. So altcoins, there's still potentially hope. Even if altcoins went down here and bounced up, that would still be a bullish setup there. So far, right now, altcoins are still looking like there's hope for a bullish setup here. Maybe even, dare I say, a bullish May. Possibly May, dare I say, into June. But in the meantime, we're just observing. How satisfied and peaceful can you be just observing without getting attached to the outcome? Okay. Let's look at some comments. Okay, we're getting comments here. Hello, we'll be holding throughout downturn until we get the bull run. What is astrology showing for the general direction for Bitcoin for June? Okay. If we have time, we could look at that. Market will turn back up. Okay. We will see. According to the Fib retracement, Bitcoin just hit the 50% mark from February 1st support. Let's take a look at that. February 1st. Down here. Okay, from right there. Yeah. Okay. That's a good point. So I think it's right there. Yeah, so we're hovering around that level. Very good point. And so we could definitely possibly get a bounce off of that. I'm going to delete that real quick. So if we just get a wick down to this level, if we close above 57,749, we could simply just bounce off of that level. Yeah, very good point. And we could just continue to head back up like that. Very nice. Now, in the case that we head even lower, if we go down to a little bit lower level, which was back at January 23rd, that could bring us down to 56,000. It's totally possible. But yeah, I like that level. I like that level. February 1st. That's a pretty solid level there. And the 50%, 57,749. Right around there. All right, we're still getting some bearish price action. If we run the 50% again. Yep, still looking weak. Okay, more people think a run is coming. 48 hours max. Then we bounce. Any bullish transit or alignment in the next 2 days? Yeah, look at this. Yeah, Mars is entering Aries today. And that's potentially bullish for macro markets. But you know, guys, the markets are volatile and there's manipulation, there's Wall Street involved, so there's lots of things. So we might have to wait a week or so. We don't necessarily get instantly this massive pump, you know? Astrology is general long-term themes and energies that can affect markets. Yeah, a fake out is clean, then back up. So, all right. We got some haters in the comments as usual. If you guys, probably a lot of you guys don't have experience making YouTube videos, but one thing that's interesting is that the more views videos get, the more haters pop up in the comments. And that's just part of the game. Just the more you speak up for something, the more you speak your truth, the more you share your beliefs and opinions about something, and the more people that see that, there's going to be haters that come on. And so people who have created success in their lives, especially on YouTube or whatever, being a thought leader or a business leader or any sort of leader, they say you got to get your haters. You got to get your haters first, and you got to be able to stomach it and not take it personally. Okay. Just a little tidbit there. All right, Bitcoin is continuing to look weak here. We're continuing to go down. Looks like we're heading down to 57,000. Next minute, we're getting a glimmer of upwards price action. We'll see if that continues. How are the altcoins holding up? Solana. Okay, Solana has gone down to 119. Ethereum is holding up at 2,855. And then I'm guessing the altcoins are still holding up pretty strong. Yep. Oh, I love this pop-up. Gotta love that. Okay. So interesting. One thing that I was looking at today is the gold price chart. And now I noticed interesting price action. Where was it? Okay, right around here. I thought this was interesting. Price action. Because this is the price of gold. This is the gold chart, by the way. I'm just reminding. And so when gold hit an all-time high, it just went a little bit up, went a little bit up from this previous all-time high. And then it fell off, kind of like Bitcoin. Then it got a glimmer of hope, but then it got one final big dump like that before heading back up. You see that? Now, could we be seeing something like that for Bitcoin? Doesn't that look interesting? And how long did this process take? It took gold, ever since getting that all-time high. You know, it got that dump 154 days when it got that final dump before heading back up. 154 days. So that would take a while. Maybe we're not going to get that same time span. Sure hope not. Let me go to a cleaner chart. If we did, let me go to the daily. If we did 144 days, I don't think it's going to take that long. I'll just tell you that. But just for fun, we've got some time here. Okay, that would take us out to, well, I missed it a little bit. August. So that might be, that is actually possible. We can't say that that's not possible. In that case, we would have a slow summer leading on to August with a final buy opportunity in August. That actually could could be possible. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but we are getting some negative astrology through really June through August with Bitcoin. So it certainly is possible to have a cruel summer. But we got to see what's going to happen in the next couple days here. All right, do you guys want to see the astrology? Let me know in the comments. Say, give me the astrology, Jack. Yeah, first you need to understand astrology itself, then combine it with trading. You astrology so accurate. Thank you, brother. The more views videos gets, the more people to verify your knowledge. No haters, verifiers. Well, you might be surprised. There's some people who are pretty nasty. So if someone corrects you or points to your shortcomings, we become your hater. Well, no, okay. There's definitely some value to the feedback. That's true. There's definitely value. But be respectful. Be respectful in the comments. All right? Just do your best. I know we don't always all agree on things, but as long as we're respectful with our opinions, then we can have civil conversations as best as we can. Yeah, there are many wannabe financial astrologers, but they don't even understand basics of astrology. Yeah, and maybe they don't put in the work. They don't put in the research. They don't research the whole history of Bitcoin, for example. I researched month by month what planets impacted the actual Bitcoin price. And I use that data to my current analysis. All right, you think things are going to bounce back with ETH? You want to contact me by email? Yeah, you can contact me by email at jack@cryptoastro.co. So that's jack@cryptoastro.co. All right, you want the astrology. Thanks for the appreciation. Much love, guys. Yeah, you know, I'm putting out this content for free, so it is nice to get some appreciation for sure. All right, these are the basic transits. Mars in Aries is positive. Venus in Taurus is positive. But the problem is, when we look at the actual Bitcoin astrology, we are getting this very negative transit here. And this happens a little bit later from now. I guess a couple days from now. On the 2nd United States time. And so we're getting that direct hit. Uranus square the Bitcoin Neptune. So that's negative. Quite negative. So we could go down a bit further. That's possible. But we don't have to. We've already gone down a pretty decent amount so far. We have Neptune. This is fairly positive, but nothing to get too excited about on May 25th. Oh, wow. Yeah, so we're getting... I've had a video about this yesterday. We're getting the Pluto's retrograde right now. Actually, not right now. In a couple days. And that brings a major shift in the market. We're definitely seeing a major shift in the market already. So we're getting that. Now, how long is that going to last? I don't know. Could be a couple days. Could be a week. The worst case, it could be a cruel summer. Let's see. These transits aren't much to write home about. We do get a very positive Jupiter trine Jupiter on May 23rd. But then we get another negative on the 26th. So, I mean, and then this is potentially a cruel summer here. Because we're getting a direct hit. Saturn conjunct the Bitcoin Uranus. I'm definitely concerned about that. June 18th, we get a direct hit. Then we get it again on July 11th. This is quite negative. And it comes into orb on May 23rd. Right there. So we definitely want to start heading upwards soon. And I'm hoping hopefully we can get an altcoin run in the next few days, in the next couple of weeks. Otherwise, I'm concerned about these two transit in the summer. If we do get an altcoin run, maybe we head up in May and June, and then these start to hit, and then we fall back down. Or if we just continue staying low, then we might just stay low for the summer. It's tricky. All right, let's look at this comment. The problem is the owner of Binance was sentenced to prison for 4 months. Did you hear that? Yeah. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier in the video. So that's probably definitely what's spooking the markets. And so I think the markets are, what's the word? The markets are digesting that information right now, is what I would say, what I would guess is going on. Bitcoin's still looking pretty weak here. So I'd say Bitcoin and crypto markets are still processing this information with CZ, Binance. Honestly, I knew this was coming at some point. I just didn't know when with CZ. I knew there was going to be some wild stuff with Binance. Who knows, guys? I mean, what if this guy, the CEO of Binance, what if he's a freaking criminal? Dude, it's totally possible. I mean, think about what we had happen in 2022 with the FTX collapse, the Celsius collapse, the Luna collapse. That was back in, yeah. Think about all of that madness. Those people were potentially criminals. Well, obviously we know CEO of FTX was for sure a criminal. But yeah, arguably they're all criminals. So who's to say that can't happen again? You know, we gotta fine tune our discernment. We can't just trust, you know, these CEOs or whatnot. You know, a lot of people look up to Michael Saylor, but who knows, man? Who knows? Who knows? Just be discerning. Don't assume that people are angels all the time, or I don't know. But then be discerning with who you can trust as well. And that takes, sometimes that takes life experience. It takes intuition. One way that I fine-tune my intuition is meditation. And it's really helped me connect to my actual intuition versus instead would be anxiety or something. You know, some people don't trust their intuition because, well, maybe they're not very gifted in that, and that's totally fine. But also maybe they're feeling anxiety and they've confused that for intuition. And so the anxiety is masking their intuition. And so it takes some practices and meditation to get clear on real intuitions versus anxiety or false intuition or delusions. All right, we're still heading down. We are still heading down. Wow. And how is Solana? I mean, Solana is still holding up at 120. That's pretty amazing. Solana is holding up stronger than just about anything. Let's see. Solana's fallen 5.2%. Bitcoin's fallen 6%. I mean, the altcoins are holding up stronger than Bitcoin. XRP is holding up stronger than Bitcoin. And XRP is holding up stronger than Solana, at least. Well, it says in the last, I think this is the last 24 hours. Correct me if I'm wrong. Render's holding up stronger than Bitcoin, barely. ICP is holding up stronger than Bitcoin. Cardano is holding up stronger than Bitcoin. Rune, not so much. Rune is about 6%, more than 6%. But wow. I mean, altcoin, a lot of the altcoins are green versus Bitcoin. That's pretty crazy. So could we head into an alt run after the altcoin run? Interesting. I don't know, but altcoins are holding up strong right now. Okay, we've headed down lower. And we're still not getting above the 50% level on the minute by minute chart. Wow. All right. 56, jeez. Look at the pace that Bitcoin is falling. It's pretty unbelievable. All right. I'm going to edit some of my alerts here. Jeez. We're still going down. So I think the markets are freaked out about this news about CZ. Jeez. But why are the altcoins not falling a bit more? Okay, now Solana's starting to go a bit more. Let me know in the comments, what do you guys think? How are the altcoins holding up strong right now versus Bitcoin? Because usually it's the opposite. Okay. All right, let's see. Buy the rumors, sell the news. Actually, 4-month sentence for CZ is very low and very bullish. Yeah, that's possible. I mean, yeah, that's true. 4 months isn't. So maybe it's just news that's scaring the markets. Maybe we might just get a pump after this. We've seen that so many times in history. Just like the Silicon Valley Bank collapse. That was the greatest, maybe one of the greatest buying opportunities of our life. Because we just headed up, we kept creating higher lows after that. We never went down to that level again. That was at around 19,000 Bitcoin price. Looks like TradingView's glitching out a little bit here. Okay, we're getting a little bit of a bounce, a tiny bit of a bounce. So the question is, how long is it going to take markets to digest this? I don't know. It's going to take 24 hours. Is it going to take a week? I think the... how long did it take markets to digest the Silicon Valley Bank collapse? I remember that. From my memory, is about a couple days, maybe 3 days. Here it is. And that was arguably, since it really fell, like it was just a couple days where it really fell off there. It was March 9th. Look at this, guys. Exactly the day. If you guys don't believe in astrology, take a look at this. Exactly the day that we got that Silicon Valley collapse, we were getting an extremely negative transit that I was looking at, and I made a video about it. But take a look. It's right here. Saturn conjunct the Bitcoin Venus. Saturn brings limitation and hard lessons in reality. Can represent banking as well, and it's going over the Bitcoin Venus, which represents money. One of the very weak points in the Bitcoin chart, Venus. Saturn went right over that and brought major limitation and hard lessons in reality on the exact day that we got Silicon Valley Bank collapse. Look at that. Major price drop on March 9th. Lasted a couple days. That was the greatest buying opportunity maybe of our lives for Bitcoin, because after that, we just started heading up. Started heading up, created a higher low, another higher low here, and then we just headed up from there. And Bitcoin's done a 3x since then, although it's heading down now. Okay, we're getting a little bit of a bounce. Not bad. How much lower do you guys think we're going? Let me know in the comments. Let's see. And why are altcoins holding up so strong? Let's see what some of my friends are saying. First day of the month and we are going down. Pretty sure we will end the month green. That's possible. These are what some of my crypto buddies are saying. 57K is one of my buddies' price targets. So I think a couple of my buddies are buying at 57K. That's not financial advice. I'm just saying what some of my buddies are doing. Oh yeah, I have to say that. None of this content is financial or investment advice. This content is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. Okay, just got to say that for legal reasons. How are the altcoins doing? Solana's still at 119. Ethereum is at 28,000 or 2,843. Altcoins are still above this critical level here. All right, let me look at the comments. Seems ETF flows are easily come, easy go. Only the degens buying alts, therefore they hold. All centralized exchanges will touch dirty money. So they can all be in trouble. Oh, you think that's what's going on? So who's going to be in trouble? The people on those centralized exchanges? That's possible. May 7th, new moon in Taurus. Taurus ruled by Venus. Venus equals money. Yeah, we are getting that. Maybe alt season is starting now. Yeah, we will see. Alts and memes season is in May. Certainly possible. We just need to get a bounce off of this level. I say it will bounce off 55K as it's a double number. Many people will in May have a buy orders waiting. Yeah, potentially. Okay, it looks like things are still dropping a bit. Let's look at Bitcoin. Okay. Zoom in. All right. Very interesting. Let's look at some of the news. Binance crypto founder Zhao sentenced to 4 months in prison. Faced his sentencing over money laundering violations. Okay, big surprise. Thought this was coming for some time. And so what it seems like the regulators do in a certain country, I'm not even going to say it, is they don't give regulatory clarity, and then they just all of a sudden come after the CEOs of these companies accusing them of not following the regulations when they were never upfront with what the regulations were in the first place. So how are they supposed to follow the regulations if they don't know what they are? So, quite interesting. That's just the game we're playing right now. All right, we're getting some slow internet here. Wow. See if we can get back. Okay. All right, well, I might need to close this up soon, but let me know if you guys have any last questions. Yeah, I mean, basically, we don't have a ton of bullish astrology this month other than Mars in Aries, Venus in Taurus. We got to see the macro market start to head up. That's a mandatory, but it's not guaranteed. We got to see the S&P 500 go up. Right now, they're getting a dump. Let's see. You know, we got to start heading up more. We're getting a dump today, so that's dumping the crypto markets, as well as this news we've been talking about. So that's what we need, you know. And yeah, unfortunately, there's a bit of negative astrology the next couple days, but it's in effect for a couple weeks. Well, let me double check that. We're going to go back to the current astrology. So this negative transit is in effect until May 20th. So I'm really hoping after May 2nd we start to get a pump. Hopefully this transit is not as negative as I thought, but so far it has definitely been negative, as we see with this dump. I mean, ever since we've gotten this transit, markets have not liked it. And this is Bitcoin in particular. It started on, I mean, look at this. It started on April 15th. Heading till May 20th. If we go to April 15th, I mean, we've been getting a dump in the macro then. And I'm just talking about Bitcoin. Sometimes things can line up and everything affects one another. I mean, ever since April 15th, we've been largely heading down. We did get this pump, but now we're heading down further. The closer we get to May 2nd, we're just heading down further. All right, so I'll just be keeping my eye on this. Anyways, thanks guys for tuning in. Let's see what other questions. Will BTC up? Well, I can't tell you for sure. Because currently we're going down. Why is it down? Probably because the CEO of Binance was sentenced to prison. Price has to bounce back. Stay focused. If this is CZ news, then Ethereum and DeFi pumps because it means money is getting off exchanges to be on-chain. Oh, that's a really good point. So people are coming off Binance and going on to decentralized exchanges, going into wallets. Some people are selling. I wonder, would this affect other centralized exchanges? I'll have to do some more research on that. Actually, it sure could. Wow. That's a good point. So maybe it's a good time to self-custody our assets. Okay. Shouldn't the Star Wars token go up because of May the 4th being Star Wars Day? Oh boy. When's the next really bullish Astro month? Ugh. I don't know. Honestly, it would be more around October, November. So there's that. Pull out or hang on. That's up to you. Are you willing to hodl for up to 6 months? Or would you not be able to handle that? Got to make your own decisions. Fake news. Are you talking about the CZ Binance news? It could be fake news. I don't know. With this rate, we're visiting 52 before we bounce. All right, we'll see. That's interesting, though. Yeah, so this is going to cause people to most likely get off the Binance exchange. And I guess lucky for me, I don't even use Binance. So people are going to be fleeing off of Binance. That means they would go into... they might sell their crypto and go back into their bank and cash. They might cash out. Or they might go to decentralized exchanges. Or they might self-custody. So that's very interesting. Now, if this is a planned event with an agenda behind it, there is a chance that eventually the regulators are going to go after decentralized exchanges. And they already have. They've gone after the CEO of Uniswap. I believe they've sued the CEO of Uniswap. So they are going after decentralized exchanges. Now, they cannot destroy the decentralized exchanges, but what they can control is you and me. They can put laws around us putting our crypto on certain exchanges, and they can put certain rules around that. So be aware of that. All right. I know nobody wants to hear that, but we got to be aware of where things are headed. And yes, the regulators are going to come after probably just about everything, but they move very slowly. And so I'm not saying to freak out at all. Just saying we got to be mentally prepared for that. And currently we can use decentralized exchanges, and they are probably going to approve a certain handful of them, hopefully. But eventually, I think they are going to go after self-custody wallets as well. But they might go only after certain ones at a time. And so there might be certain times where certain wallets are okay to use, and then certain times where certain wallets are not. So could be a good old cat and mouse game. But that's interesting. So centralized exchanges, people might be starting to flee from centralized exchanges. Liquidity could continue to move off exchanges. Let's look at the daily exchange volume. We'll probably see the exchange volume continue to fall off. We might get a massive dump with the exchange volume. Yeah, we're continuing to get dumping. If you look at this graph here, we've been falling off ever since the all-time high. Oh, actually, we're getting a little bit of a pump, so maybe people are going on to exchanges to sell or buy. That's interesting. So we'll have to see in the next 48 hours what's going on here. What kind of price action will unfold? Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for participating here. You're a nice person, bro. Thank you very much. Tell me about gold. Well, gold just hit all-time high recently. And now it's been falling off. So that could actually potentially be good for crypto. As long as it continues to drop off. So far we've gotten a dump of about 6%. That's not too significant. If we look back at what happened in previous bull runs with gold, like right here. So gold hit an all-time high in August 2020, and then ever since then, it started falling off. And that led to a crypto bull run in this period. Yeah, all the way to here. So we want to see gold continue to fall off like that, like we saw in the last bull run. Solana still holding at 120. That is impressive. Altcoins are still holding up. Maybe it's because a lot of people have their Solana on decentralized exchanges or on a phantom wallet. Maybe people with Solana are not freaking out as much. But it's interesting that Bitcoin is the one that's falling 6%. Altcoins are so far still holding up fairly strong. Maybe because it's a lot of these altcoins that are held on decentralized exchanges. Okay, that's what I got time for today. Thanks so much, you guys, for tuning in. Of course, I'll be coming out with a lot more videos. Hey, this is a celebration, guys. This is my longest video ever. 1 hour and 6 minutes. Holy moly, that went by pretty fast. All right, time flies when shit's hitting the fan. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in with me, and I will see you on the next video. Let me know what questions you have in the comments. I'll be coming out with a lot more videos. Peace.